previous video, we saw how our wholesale and national account branches originate quality loans and give outstanding customer service to both their loan officers and their brokers. After the branches fund those Option 1 loans, the focus shifts to a different, equally important customer, our investors. They purchase our loans and provide us the capital needed to make new loans in the branches. The process of selling our closed loans to investors has two distinct steps. The first is a complete audit of the file. The second is the sale of those loans to our investors. The audit process is designed to ensure the quality of the group or pool of loans offered for sale. Different teams ensure that the original paperwork is secure, the file is complete, all loan data is correct, and we have complied with all state and federal regulations. Behind me is our storage facility called Records Information Imaging Management, the RIM for short. The RIM is where the branches ship their closed loan files and is the permanent home of all original paperwork with the exception of the collateral package. Receiving, securing, and tracking all this paper is the responsibility of records management.
Everything we do produces a record, so whether it's a base file or adverse action or imaging or collateral or final collateral, that's a record of some sort, and that needs to be received, tracked, monitored, delivered, sent.
Records management is usually the first department to touch the file. So after we get the file, we put all the files in order by branch according to their prefix code for each branch. Then what we do is we'll print up labels that have barcodes, and the labels are used for scanning purposes. Next, the sales team will pull the collateral packages that are within the base file for the custodian Wells Fargo. And after that, what we'll do is we'll track the files out to our imaging vendor.
Our scanning vendor receives our records, and they prepare the file or that record to make sure that it can go through a scanner. And there are these big machines that kind of look like copy machines, and they just place all approximately 250 files in a base file or 40 for a collateral file, and they flip them over, and the scanning machine grabs it much like a copy machine and stores the image into this server, this database.
This technology is essential to Option 1's process. Before imaging, the original file was sent from group to group, and sometimes files were misplaced. Now, different groups check different parts of the file simultaneously using high-quality images.
We look at 148 different fields in the loan itself, and of those fields, we have to make sure that numbers are correct, phone numbers are correct, documents are put into the files. It's very, I would say, vast audit that we do. Any of our findings that we find on our particular audit sheet that don't match up, or any changes that we make, we input all of our information into PFS, which is the post-fund system. Well, data integrity, since we audit 100% of OMC originated loans, we try to maintain a 99.5% accuracy. When there is a sale, our investors are relying on us essentially for that quality.
Corporate underwriting has a commitment to audit a minimum of 15% of all loans funded the previous month, and we have 30 days to do that. When an underwriter is looking at a file, that underwriter is looking for adherence to Option 1 underwriting guidelines, proper documentation, proper income calculations, make sure the proper down payment was made according to the purchase agreement. We look at almost every document in a package. We're here to ensure the loan is truly what we say it is when we sell it to an investor.
The role of compliance is to assess risk, to ensure that the company is in compliance with state law, with federal law, and to ensure that we're following our own internal policies and procedures. Compliance will take a look at the loan file in the event of a TILA, Truth in Lending, and or RESPA violation. We are encouraging all departments within the corporation and the branches to come to us early on in the process so that we can help them evaluate their situation, the regulation, whether it be federal or state, to help them overcome that particular situation. We are deal makers, not deal breakers. We're here to make loans.
We're just like the rest of the company. We're here to fund loans and try to provide the best common sense appraisal decisions to both our branches and our customers. We could receive requests for reviews from any of the production divisions, post-fund, compliance. We're looking for different things, of course. It depends on that specific file. Usually if it's from one of our production divisions, it will be concerning a value. Say it's from post-funds, it would probably be that we need to identify and make sure that we have the correct parcel number. We also have 2 due diligence personnel which look over 20% of all the funded loans to make sure those underwriters are red flagging and catching what they need to be.
We look at state-specific, federal, and option 1 guidelines. We just ensure that what's happened at closing in the branches is actually what's going to take place. We audit the file a month and a half after a loan has funded. We are currently doing a 25% sample. We perform 2 separate audits. We perform a calculations audit, which is a detailed audit of the HUD-1 settlement statement, and quality control audit, where we look at investor documents, we look at state-specific and federal documents that are required. A lot of our guidelines are investor requirements, so we want to make sure that those are met.
While these associates are auditing the files, the secondary and capital markets teams are actively looking for individuals and groups who are interested in purchasing those loans. This is where all the hard work of the branch and corporate teams begins to pay off. Selling our loans is as vital to our success as originating loans. When investors purchase loans from us, we maintain a cash flow to continue funding new loans, and we make a profit from the sale. Monitoring the trends of the market and knowing the products our investors want to buy is the responsibility of our secondary marketing department.
Everyone in secondary marketing is a financial analyst. We are always trying to stay abreast of the market. So we have a Bloomberg system, which is a financial services system, which gives us real-time quotes on the bond market, the equity market, economic statistics. And so we're always looking at that to see what would influence the investor's appetite for our loans. And we then look and evaluate what has funded and what is going to fund. And we slice and dice it and do a lot of analysis on prepayments, defaults, expected defaults, risk profiles to see what profitability there would be when we ultimately sell those to investors or securitize the loans.
Securitizing is one way we sell loans to our investors. Large groups of loans are formed into a pool. Different investors buy pieces of the pool and then share the revenue. Another way is through a loan sale. In this case, an investor buys an entire loan and receives all of its revenue. Packaging these different types of sales is a responsibility of capital markets.
Our responsibility is to sell and securitize a loan for the best price. We usually do business with pretty much the same investors over time, but we always try to add new investors. We provide the electronic data that represents the loan characteristics, the interest rate that's charged, the type of property, a FICO score that's given for the creditworthiness of the borrower, and that's what's called the tape. We pull that data together specifically for the investors to look at. They make a judgment based off of the pool of loans that they see, along with the analytics that's been done on those pools to give us a price. If we decide that price is competitive with other bids that we've gotten, we would choose them. They would come in and do a due diligence on the loan, which is coming in and looking at the actual file and making sure what I've said electronically is what's actually happening in the file. Once they go through that, then we would sell them the loans that they're comfortable with once that process is done.
And the process doesn't stop there. While the loans now belong to the investors, servicing those loans remains the responsibility of option 1. In our next video, we'll take a look at our incredible servicing department. I'm Becky Mungie, and I'm heading over there right now. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.